thing can change in a matter of days. It was all good just a week ago. We beat up on the Chicago Sky a few days ago. 35-point victory. Caitlin Clark triple-double. Indiana Fever riding high. Indiana Fever fans riding high. Caitlin Clark supporters riding high. And then, of course, the dweebs do what the dweebs do. They make up nonsense, they make up lies, and the WNBA validate the lies. The WNBA validates the nonsense. The WNBA validates non-truths.
The Indiana Fever are done playing nice, and now they're reportedly threatening to boycott the entire WNBA over what they claim are outright lies. Not rumors, not petty drama, lies. But here's where it gets interesting. No one is clearly saying what those alleged lies actually are. That silence, it's raising eyebrows everywhere. Whether this is backstage tension boiling over or something far more explosive simmering beneath the surface. The Fever are moving with the confidence of a team that believes they know something the rest of the league desperately hopes stays buried. The big question now is whether this is a calculated power play or the beginning of a controversy that could send shockwaves to the entire WNBA. Either way, this situation feels like it's on the verge of blowing wide open.
Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. This dump, this turd of turds known as the WNBA, this damn league can't get the hell out of their own way. They don't get it. They just don't get it. The diva of dump divas, Kat Engelbert, she does not understand how fragile this fan base is. And by fragile, I'm referring to their level of loyalty to pretend basketball, which in this case...
Alright, buckle up, because if you think this WNBA chaos is just about basketball, you're about to get a reality check messier than a late-night breakup text. The Indiana Fever have become the center of the storm, and with Caitlin Clark leading the charge, they've turned into the league's golden ticket. We're talking skyrocketing ticket prices, packed arenas, record-breaking buzz, and a wave of new fans flooding in. The Fever aren't just playing games. They're driving attention, headlines, and serious revenue. They become the hype machine every sports executive dreams about, delivering the kind of electricity the WNBA has been craving for years.
The number one thing you'd be talking about after that game, after that amazing performance from Caitlin Clark, the triple-double, the amazing passes, the crazy shots, you'd think we would be talking about basketball. The number one thing you think we'd be investigating is how nobody else in the WNBA has ever done anything like Caitlin Clark is doing. We should be investigating the fact that Caitlin Clark's 4 threes in that game were more exciting than, like, if you go to 2022 and check out the top 10 plays of the WNBA season, her 4 threes in that game were more exciting than those 10 plays. Literally. Like, what she does in one game is single-handedly more exciting than anything we've ever seen in the WNBA. That's what...
And yet the league, along with some of its most loyal supporters, has started treating the Fever like they're the bad apples spoiling the whole basket. Why? Because their fans were a little too loud, a little too passionate? Because Caitlin Clark made a strong, physical play on Angel Reese, and suddenly it became a full-blown controversy? What looked like hard-nosed, competitive basketball got reframed as something far more dramatic, and the narrative flipped fast instead of embracing the intensity and the spotlight it brings. Critics zeroed in on the Fever, as if energy and edge are somehow offenses in a league built on competition.
Started all of this.
It's a flagrant, and then Chicago will maintain the basketball. Reese misses.
Okay, that was it. That noise you heard right there that sounds a little bit like a dolphin was actually a YouTuber called Flight Reacts. A laugh. All right, a laugh that it's my understanding actually gets played during NBA games too. That's what it's all about, because they tried to say that sounded like a...
Let's rewind this like it's primetime reality TV. Angel Reese throws the first shove. A clear, heated moment that sets the tone and lets everyone know the intensity just hit another level. Then Caitlin Clark answers with a hard, textbook foul. Physical, yes, but the kind of contact that lives in competitive basketball. And somehow, that's when the script flips. Fever fans suddenly find themselves labeled the villains. Debates explode across social media, and serious conversations about fan behavior, including allegations of racism in the stands. start dominating the narrative. What began as a chippy on-court exchange morphs into something far bigger than the play itself, with Reese positioned by supporters as a target and Clark's side portrayed as the instigator. In today's spotlight-heavy sports culture, it doesn't take much for a single moment to snowball into a full-blown storyline.
It's been the most polarizing conversation in all of sports over the last 24 hours, rather. Angel Reese, many would suggest that she overreacted, but Slick, do you have an issue with Angel Reese's reaction to Caitlin Clark's flagrant foul?
Yes, and I have an issue with the way she reacted. I have an issue with the way it's being handled by her, by the Chicago Sky, everybody involved.
The irony? Fever fans are the ones packing the arenas, buying the jerseys, driving the TV numbers, and injecting real momentum into the league's bottom line. They're showing up, spending money, and turning every Indiana Fever game into an event. Meanwhile, much of the rest of the WNBA feels like it's watching its own spotlight get hijacked by one breakout superstar, and the franchise bold enough to build around her, whether people love it or hate it. The Fever effect is real, and it's reshaping the conversation, the ratings, and the business side of the league in a way no one can ignore.
Thankful they kept continued to show up for us, and they make a lot of noise. Like, they're into it. They're not just sitting there. Like, they're invested in this basketball. It's great for our league. It's great for every team that gets to come and play here. I think we've had a lot of great battles, and they've helped us win a lot of games on this floor. So, like I said, hopefully we can bring the playoffs back here and give them a taste of it, because they deserve it. It's been since 2016. So, it's only going to get better and better.
You can almost hear the whispers. They want Caitlin Clark to succeed, just not too loudly, not too disruptively, and definitely not in a way that shifts the balance of attention. It's the unspoken tension of rapid growth colliding with old guard expectations. The WNBA says it wants expansion, ratings, cultural buzz. But when that spotlight concentrates heavily on one star, and the Indiana Fever, the reaction feels complicated. Instead of unified celebration, the moment gets filtered through rivalry, narrative framing, and non-stop discourse. From the outside, it almost looks like the league is struggling with its own breakthrough, unsure whether to fully embrace the surge of attention or to rebalance it before one storyline dominates the entire stage. And that tension? That's where things start to get really interesting.
Foul on Caitlin Clark. Listen, I was at the game. If there was somebody being racist or saying shit, obviously boot him, never let him back. I would be stunned beyond belief if that was the case. This crowd, I've sat on the wood for a million games, been in a million environments. The crowd at the Fever game, little girls, families, ladies, nice crowd. You even though it's 100% false, by acknowledging we don't condone hate and not seeing that this was a internet rumor, complete bullshit, you're lending credence to this. There was none of that. It was a great crowd, a positive crowd. Yeah, Angel Reese deserved to get her ass booed when she attacked Caitlin on a normal foul.
Now here's where the temperature really rises. The same fans being accused of crossing lines are also the ones packing arenas, buying merch, and feeling the surge in attention around the Indiana Fever. So what's actually driving this narrative? Is it purely about misconduct in stands? Or is it tangled up in rivalry, power dynamics, and discomfort over how fast one franchise and one player has changed the spotlight? There's no denying Caitlin Clark has become one of the most polarizing figures in the WNBA. She draws massive attention, strong opinions, and non-stop debate. On the other side, Angel Reese thrives in that antagonist energy, embraced by supporters, criticized by others, but undeniably central to the drama. And caught in the middle, Fever fans, often framed as the source of every spark that turns into a wildfire. Here's the grounded truth. Growth in sports is rarely smooth. Star power reshapes leagues. Rivalries amplify emotions. Allegations, especially serious ones like racism, deserve to be taken seriously and addressed with evidence, not dismissed or weaponized for narrative advantage. At the same time, passionate fan engagement is often what pushes a league from steady to booming. What's happening now feels like a league adjusting to sudden acceleration. The Fever keep winning headlines and drawing crowds. The conversation keeps getting louder. And through all the noise, the core remains simple. Competitive basketball that fills arenas, sells jerseys, and demands attention. Growth can be messy. Spotlight can be uncomfortable. But if handled with accountability and balance, it can also be transformative.